Welcome to Real Life with Lisa. I am Lisa Jacobson from Club31Women.com. I am the wife of Matthew L. Jacobson and the mother of 8 wonderful children. So every Wednesday, you're invited to come here and join the conversation where we just talk about real life, the life that God has for us, a life full of joy, full of peace, full of hope. So sometimes we just mix it up. Sometimes we talk about deep things. Sometimes we talk about sad things. And sometimes we just talk about everyday helpful things. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So a few days ago, a friend of mine stopped by to see me, and it's one of those friends I don't get to see very often. So I thought it was such a nice day, and I said, well, why don't you come back here and we can sit down in one of my favorite places? And she said, she already knew exactly what I was talking about. And she said, oh yes, your happy place. And it made me laugh because I didn't know that everybody knew about my happy place. And she said, oh yes, I've seen it on, I think maybe Instagram or something like that. And she knew that's what I called my little special places. So today I thought it would be fun if we talked about how to create your very own happy place. And how this all came about was many years ago when I was a young wife and mother of a bunch of young children. So my home was, it was busy and it was full and there was just stuff everywhere, even though as much as I tried so hard to keep things tidy and keep things beautiful. But you know what, when you have 4 kids, 5 and under, that is nearly impossible of a task, at least, and still be a fun mom, right? So one day I was just discouraged and I was looking around and I saw the dishes in the kitchen sink and just saw Legos everywhere, and I just kind of gave that big sigh, you just kind of that, I give up. And then it was almost like, I'm not saying it was a vision or anything, but I looked over and my favorite rocking chair, the one that my husband had gotten me for my first Mother's Day, and the sun was kind of shining through the window right on this chair. And I just thought about how much I love sitting in this chair, and just the way the sun was lighting it up. It just made me happy just looking at it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to create my own little corner that is going to be clean, and it's going to be just one place I can go to that kind of restores my soul when I feel overwhelmed with the mess or just the busyness that comes with a busy home. So I put together a number of items like my Bible, a journal, and I put it all together in this little basket. And every day I tried to, after I put the kids down for a nap, I would just go and sit in that chair. Maybe I would nurse the baby. Maybe I would just sit there and read my Bible. Just take a few moments to just pray and enjoy this one little beautiful spot. And I never really said anything to the kids. They were pretty young at the time. But it was a few weeks later when I think I was putting everybody down for their quiet time or nap time or something. And our little boy, who was maybe 5 or 6 at the time, turned to me, he goes, oh, I know where you're going, Mommy. And I said, where? And he said, to your happy place. And that's where the name came from, my happy place. So today I thought we could talk about what and how you can have a happy place of your very own in your very own home. So it's really simple, but sometimes it's not something we think about doing, because if you're like me, you just kind of get lost in all the things that we have to do, all the things on our list, all the things that are piling up, and we get overwhelmed or maybe discouraged and don't take time to just sit and enjoy one small spot each day. Does that make sense? Okay, good. I thought you might be tracking with me. All right, so here we are, 5 steps. Are you ready? So the first thing you do is you pick a sweet spot in your home. That has varied from home to home for us because we've moved around quite a bit. And each home, I just, after that first home that I was telling you about, I would just look around and I would see, there's a little spot here that I really enjoy. Maybe it's a sunny window, or sometimes it's a cozy corner. And it just depends on, for me now, it depends on the season or the home or even where we're at in life, where that could be. So just pick a spot, and it doesn't have to be large, it doesn't have to be fancy, just small and sweet to you. Okay. The second thing you do is you gather all your favorite things. Well, not all your favorite things, some of your favorite things. So I'm just gonna give you some examples of things that I've done, and you can just take it from there, right? All right, so I pick like a basket or a box, just some kind of container where I can put everything in that kind of keeps it all in one spot. And I have my Bible, I keep a journal, and I might have some of the books that I'm reading. I love this book by Sarah Haggerty, Every Bitter Thing is Sweet. If you haven't read it, I would encourage you to do so. I love this book. It's beautifully written and just really encouraging no matter where you're at in life. This is one I just finished, Hope Heals, and that's another favorite book of mine for this year that I've really enjoyed. So it's not that I get a lot of time to read, but when it's all in one place like this, I know that even if I have a 20-minute window, say, before I have to go out the door to take the kids somewhere, I can sit down in my chair with my special things, and sometimes I'll have little tea bags in there, or I'll keep cards, maybe a little love note that my husband had written me recently, or a special little card that one of my boys drew for me. And I might have a picture in there, just so you get the idea, right? Sometimes I put little chocolates in there. And now that my whole family knows about this, my happy spot, they'll actually put little things in there for me. So it's kind of fun. I'll sit down in my chair and I look in, and there's like a little note or a little candy or something the kids thought I would enjoy during my time. All right. Then the fourth step is you set up boundaries or set a policy. And I don't mean that in a legalistic sense, but I'll tell you, especially if you have maybe small children in your home, it was actually an off-limits place for my kids. So they weren't allowed to bring their toys up on my chair. They weren't allowed to jump in my area, or it's basically set aside. Now, I don't want it to be my grumpy place, right? So it's not like, kids, get out of here. Mommy's in her happy place. I don't want it to be like that, right? I just want it to be, but I want it to be somewhat sanctified. And it didn't take very long for our kids to catch on that this was mommy's place. And you don't go there, you don't leave your junk there or your toys. And even my husband, when he saw, at first he didn't really get the vision, so to speak. And he doesn't really need a place like that. I guess maybe that's a mommy thing, I'm not sure. But once he realized how important that was to me, he was very fiercely protective of that. And he also would do like little things to put in my basket that just said, hey, I love you and I'm thinking of you, which is really sweet. All right, so set up boundaries and make that area, so even if, say, the rest of your house is a wreck, and just like mine can be with 3 young boys, you can imagine how fast everything gets messy. So, but there's this spot is off limits, and we're not gonna leave our stuff around there. So that's just an idea for you and you can set up whatever boundaries make sense to you and your family and your needs, but that's a good way to make it special and a little bit set apart. Okay, then the last thing, and that is number 5, is spend time there every day. So the reason I mention this is I think maybe we set up a spot and we've got our candles lit or we have our cup of tea, but we actually never sit down and enjoy it. And you know what? It doesn't really do much good if it's just sitting over there. I mean, you can look at it longingly from across the room, but why not take a little time each day and just quiet your heart, settle your soul, spend some time maybe praying, reading, just doing those things that are filling up for you. And why not do it in a beautiful place? It doesn't have to be expensive. I think every situation I can think of, I've just kept very few little things that make it beautiful to me, but it's not like it's not a magazine cover situation or anything like that. And while I'm thinking about it, one of the favorite places I do like to get things from when I'm decorating my home or my favorite spot is from Ever Thine Home. And I'll try to remember to include the link down below here so that you can look up them. It was started by Barbara Rainey, and she does a beautiful job of bringing beauty into your home at an affordable price and just little special things. So that's where I've got my pillow that I've mentioned, and I'm going to show a picture, and I'll have some more information on that below too, and other things. So just wanted to say that it doesn't have to be a huge project. That's what I love about this. In one day, you can create a happy place in your very own home. It's simple, it's sweet, and it can be good for your soul. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope you find your happy place. and that you're encouraged and blessed by this. All right, God bless, and be sure and share in the comments below anything that you would like to add to our conversation here. I love hearing from you. All right, take care, and thank you for joining me for Real Life with Lisa.